Welcome to this explainer. Now, let's just pause for a second. I really want you to let the visual weight of that single elegant symbol resonate. You know, in our hyper-connected, incredibly fast-paced digital age, our attention is just constantly fragmented. We rarely take the time to truly focus our minds, to actually meditate on foundational concepts before we try to absorb them. We're always rushing past titles and introductions just to get to the meat of the data, right? Well, today, we're doing something deliberately different, and frankly, something absolutely fascinating. We're taking a single, profoundly concentrated source text, and we're going to unpack it. We are going to deconstruct it word by word, concept by concept, to really understand the massive historical and structural architecture hidden inside what looks like a very simple phrase. This whole analytical journey is really about clarity, respect, and deep understanding. So, clear your mind, let the outside world fade away for a bit, and let's dive into this remarkable text.
So here is the exact subject derived from our source text. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam kamakamal nasab taraf. We're going to be deeply examining this precise framework, which translates to the complete lineage introduction of the Prophet. Every single word in this phrase has been chosen with absolute precision. It's not just a title, it is a literal promise of an exhaustive historical journey. In this explainer, we aren't just going to skim the surface. We are going to look at the immense linguistic and historical gravity of this phrase to understand exactly what it takes to map out an ancestry of this sheer magnitude. When a text makes a claim like this, it's establishing a highly sophisticated parameter for exactly what you're about to learn.
Okay, let's dive into this. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam's complete nasab taruf. I want you to really let those words settle. When we analyze historical texts, especially those dealing with such profound figures, we have to recognize that we aren't just reading words, we are literally reading blueprints for human history. This specific sequence outlines an entire methodology of preserving ancient records. It tells us the what, the how, and the who. Think about it. In the ancient world, before digitized databases or mass printing even existed, preserving a record required a massive amount of cognitive and societal effort. A title like this isn't just descriptive, it's entirely structural. And over our time together today, we're going to isolate each of these components, the complete nature, the lineage, and the introduction itself, to see the absolute brilliance of how they fit together to create an unbreakable historical chain.
Section 1. The Introduction Concept, or Ta'aruf. Let's look at building the foundational knowledge.
So our source uses the concept of ta'aruf, which is a formal, structured introduction. Now, you might be wondering, an introduction is just saying hello, right? It's just a basic beginning. But in the context of deep historical and lineage-based texts, an introduction serves a much more complex psychological and educational purpose. Think about how extraordinarily difficult it was in the ancient world to organize data, and how challenging it is even today to actually care about some disconnected list of names or historical items. A raw, overwhelming list of ancient data is almost impossible to internalize. The text specifically promises a ta'aruf. This implies a highly advanced educational intent. It means it's an intentional, structured presentation meant for deeper understanding. It is the very act of taking the unknown and making it known, taking the distant past and making it intimately familiar to you, the learner. It's like a conceptual bridge being built specifically designed to acquaint you with foundational knowledge in a way that actually sticks and resonates deeply within your memory.
Section 2. Breaking down the lineage, or nasab. This is the historical chain. We're talking about nasab, the lineage. In the original text, this concept carries immense, and I mean immense, historical resonance. A lineage, a nasab, isn't simply biology. It is the unbroken chain of human survival, memory, and identity passing from one generation to the very next. For oral cultures, which relied entirely on collective memory rather than written archives, this concept was literally their collective survival. It was how they knew exactly who they were and where they belonged in the grand tapestry of existence. When a source text focuses heavily on lineage, it's basically asking us to look at the massive span of human history and trace a single continuous thread right through the chaos of time. It carries profound historical weight. It is, quite literally, the ultimate map of human origins.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how these two vital concepts, nasab on one side and ta'aruf on the other, are actually brought together. We have the lineage, the raw, deep historical chain stretching back through millennia. And then we have the introduction, the structured, intentional act of making that complex chain accessible to you, The pure brilliance of our source text is how it marries these two ideas. It doesn't just hand you this incomprehensible chain of antiquity that you can't decode, and it definitely doesn't give you a superficial overview that lacks historical backing. It takes the heavy, complex, ancient historical chain and processes it through a highly clear, formal presentation. It takes the monumental and makes it profoundly accessible.
Section 3. A complete understanding, or mukammal, the exhaustive chain.
So the crucial point here is the word mukammal, complete. Complete means exhaustive. It means unbroken. It means the entire chain is accounted for, from the very beginning to the end. And you know, in the vast study of history, finding a truly complete lineage is incredibly rare. It honestly borders on historical impossibility. Think about it. Time destroys records, generations forget, wars erase archives, and crucial links are just lost forever in the sands of time. For any text to assert that it's presenting a mukammal, a complete lineage introduction, is a massive claim of preservation. It signifies that there are absolutely zero missing pieces in the narrative it intends to share. It represents a comprehensive, airtight historical document that has somehow withstood the immense friction of time.
Let's move on and see how this all builds together into one cohesive architecture. First, we have the foundation, the concept of lineage, the nasab, the historical chain itself linking generation to generation. Second, we have the structural integrity, the completeness, the mukammal, ensuring not a single link is missing from that vast chain. And third, we have the delivery mechanism, the introduction, the ta'aruf, ensuring this exhaustive history is presented in a way you can actually comprehend and internalize. These three distinct elements combine to form one profound, highly structured undertaking. It's essentially a masterclass in how to organize, preserve, and convey ancient human information with absolute precision.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate focal point. All of this incredible structural preparation, all of that rigorous methodology, the completeness, the historical chain, the meticulously structured introduction, it all exists to serve one central figure, the prophet. The entire meditative focus of the text converges right here. The source isn't presenting just any historical ancestry, it's meticulously applying this exhaustive framework to map the origins of the specific central figure. It ties the complete lineage introduction together with ultimate purpose, reverence, and gravity. It is the exact destination that the entire map was drawn to lead us toward.
So we return to the full phrase once more. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam ka mukammal nasab ta'aruf. But you're hearing it now with a completely new understanding of the immense conceptual architecture behind those words. The complete lineage introduction of the Prophet. It's far more than just a title. It is a meticulous preservation of history, unbroken, historically exhaustive, and perfectly presented. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. In our modern age, where information is so easily lost, forgotten, or fragmented, despite all our cloud storage and technology, what does it say about the enduring power of human memory and absolute dedication that a chain of such magnitude can be preserved, kept completely intact, and introduced to new generations centuries later? The weight of that history is truly monumental. Thank you for taking this focused journey with me, and I hope you keep questioning and exploring the incredible structures hidden within the foundational texts we read.